This is Jack. Jack has a lot of muscle and can take on heavy work. This is John. John knows a lot about numbers and processes and has a sharp mind. Together, they are Jack and John, the unbeatable team for Schindler. Jack and John help us to avoid material damage in the logistic process, including transport, storage, and on construction sites, and explain how in future we can process all steps safely and securely, from material delivery through to handover at the sites. You already know most of these steps. However, our two heroes have some good tips which will definitely help you in many situations. Schindler not only needs Jack and John, but also your awareness and commitment, as Schindler wants to continue offering competitive products and services in order to improve its market position, secure jobs, and maintain a positive and successful work environment. Schindler can only pay what Schindler earns. Damages cost money, and they can be avoided. Buddy, not so rough. While the driver is busy unloading materials, installers can use the time to visually inspect the goods. What's important to keep in mind here, Jack? It couldn't be simpler. The number of packages must match the packing list, or the client's delivery documents, delivery slip client. Oh, Mr. John knows a lot more. No materials or packages may be damaged. Otherwise, damages have to be recorded in the CMR. Also, make sure that no incorrect materials are unloaded and received. After you as the installer have visually checked the unloaded materials, ask the carrier if there are any damages or incidents to report in the CMR, such as the number and type of material damages, the number and type of visibly damaged packages, or other incidents that could result in damage to the materials. Once everything is checked, the driver must record any observed damage or incidents on the CMR and sign it. You can now countersign the CMR signed by the driver. Both the installer and the driver must sign the CMR. Then immediately submit the signed CMR to Schindler. For example, in Europe. 1. Installers notify their bosses, in other words, supervisor. 2. This supervisor sends the CMR with identified damages or incidents to the group management claim manager. 3. The GM claim manager sends this information to Schindler Log EU. Also keep the reviewed and received shipping documents. These include the client's delivery document, delivery slip client, and the CMR. Jack, be a little bit careful, please. Handle the received materials carefully so that nothing gets lost, nothing gets damaged. If materials are stored at the construction site, make sure they are stored safely and carefully. Especially make sure of the following item. To prevent weather-related damage, the material may not be uncovered and exposed to the elements. And make sure that the material is moved without causing any damage, and that all instructions, such as package stacking, are followed on every package. Can we start installing now? No. All delivered packages must be opened and the supervisor notified immediately of any identified materials damage. In case of serious damage, stop unpacking immediately and contact your supervisor. Take pictures of the damage as evidence for a potential claim procedure. It's very important to notify Schindler of any damaged materials in a package within 6 business days, such as to log EU in Europe. Otherwise, Schindler itself will have to assume the resulting damage cost. These conditions comply with the international regulations on materials road transport. Jack's already on the site. What do we need to keep in mind here? Yes, a decent mid-morning snack is important, but also pay attention to the following points. Ensure that the materials are properly delivered or received on the construction site. Prevent damage to materials. Secure materials against theft. Thanks, these are great tips. This way, as an installer, you can be part of making goods deliveries for Schindler happen safely and without damage. Jack and John, can you sum it all up? It's quite simple, really. You just have to remember 10 points. 1. Do the number of packages correspond to those listed on the transport documents? 2. Were the instructions or pictograms followed? 3. Were any incorrect materials unloaded and received? 4. Ensure that materials are properly delivered to the construction site. 5. Were package stacking or do not stack instructions followed? 6. Any identified damage or incidents should be reported on the CMR by the driver and signed by both the driver and the installer. 7. Any damaged material in a package must be reported to Schindler on a CMR within 6 business days, such as to log EU in Europe. 8. Store the materials in a safe and secure manner. 9. Were weather conditions taken into account? 10. Prevent materials on the construction site from being damaged or stolen. That's all. See you, Jack and John, and thanks for showing us how to carry out safe and secure deliveries. That was great. Until the next time. Now we can all go home knowing that we did a perfect job, and one which benefited all our partner companies.